Phoenix, Arizona, named for a mythological bird as a symbol for the new city rising out of the ruins of the ancient Hohokam civilization. Because we all know that building a city on a giant Native American burial ground is always a great idea. Before the name Phoenix was decided upon, however, the city was named Pumpkinville. And you know what? I kinda dig it.
When I walk down the street, people shout out windows, "Hey, melting pumpkin."
So on this episode of the Channel for the Recently Deceased, I visit the Valley of the Sun to track down the city's most haunted locations and kick up some dusty ghosts. Don't touch that remote. Our first stop of the ghost tour of Phoenix is the Teeter House, constructed in the early 1900s. Located in Heritage Square, it is one of the oldest homes still standing in the city. The original owner sold the home to Eliza Teeter, who operated it as a boarding house. Eliza lived there for 54 years until she died in the home in 1965, and some say she never left. Her apparition has been seen drifting from room to room and was even captured on camera. One member of the ghost subreddit posted this photo of themselves sitting on the front porch, only to later notice a ghostly visage of a woman's face looming in the window right here. Around the corner from the Teeter House, also in Heritage Square, is what looks like the quintessential haunted Victorian. This is the Rosson House, originally built in 1895 for the affluent Rosson family and is now a museum. It has quite a history of hauntings, including sightings of the murdered caretaker, doors locking on their own, objects moving, and even the fireplace lighting itself. Our tour guide Lucas told me that one entity who haunts the Rosson House has quite the reputation.
The Bad Lady, that's not a name I gave her. That's a name that the ghosts have given her in my encounters with her. All of a sudden, one night, all of a sudden out of nowhere, I get this message when I'm talking with some of the children that I believe haunt the house, and they just suddenly say, "She's here. The Bad Lady is over here." She is one of 3 things that make ghosts at the Rosson House fall silent, mostly because, from what I can gather, they're scared of her. She is the ghost most likely to follow people, or I guess rather than follow people, she's the ghost most likely to attack people. My best guess is when she was alive, she must have been a rather short woman, mostly because she's fond of kicking people in the shins. Sometimes when I'm doing this tour, out of nowhere I'll suddenly feel like a stark stabbing pain in my shin. And there have been nights I've leave this tour and my shins are just killing me. And it's not the shoes. I make sure I have good walking shoes. Heck, it was even when I have new walking shoes. So she tends to get really cranky when I talk about her.
This is St. Mary's Basilica. Built in 1881, it is the oldest church in Phoenix. And as early as 1893, people have reported seeing 2 headless women floating outside the old arched doorways. Some think they're angels, while others aren't so sure. Yeah, I'm not so sure. I prefer my angels wearing either this uniform or preferably... Located in the heart of downtown Phoenix is the Professional Building. This former bank, now turned hotel, can be seen in the opening shot of Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. A movie I've seen about 167 times, and it... Oh wait, that's a different movie. In fact, December 11th is officially Psycho Day in Phoenix. Shadow figures have been seen on the 3rd floor where medical offices once stood, and Lucas told me they caught an EVP speaking Latin inside this building. Homo non sum, which translates to, I am not human. Let me just consult the handbook on that one. Yep, that's a demon. Now our next stop is considered one of the most haunted buildings in all of Phoenix, and also where I decided to stay for the weekend. The Hotel San Carlos. In 1874, the first elementary school in the city was built on this site. The school existed up until 1919, when the land was bought by the Babbitt family, who planned to build a luxury hotel. Construction began in 1927 and completed in March of 1928. Only 2 months later, on May 7, 1928, Leone Jensen, a 22-year-old woman, jumped to her death from the roof. One theory suggests she may have come to Phoenix seeking treatment for tuberculosis, and when faced with the reality of her condition, chose to take her own life. Guests and staff have reported seeing a woman in a long dress on the rooftop, only for her to vanish when they look again. Others claim to have spotted a wispy figure in the hallways, lingering in doorways before disappearing, or at the foot of their beds. Guests have also reported knocks at the door in the middle of the night, but when they open the door, no one is there. Then there are the ghosts tied to the school that existed before the hotel was built. Guests have heard the sound of a ball bouncing up and down the hallway, as well as children's voices coming from the halls and basement in the middle of the night, only to find nobody there when they look. Many believe that these children are the victims of the Spanish flu pandemic, which swept the world in 1918, just before the school closed. The activity seems to be focused on the 3rd floor and the 7th floor, but my room was on the 4th floor. Now, did I ask to change rooms? Come on, I may be dead, but I ain't stupid. And besides, I need my beauty rest. Many celebrities of the silver screen have stayed at the Hotel San Carlos, and their names are in the pavement out front in a mini walk of fame. These include Mae West, Carole Lombard, Clark Gable, Humphrey Bogart, and yes, even Marilyn Monroe. Although Marilyn's ghost is said to haunt a different hotel, the Hollywood Roosevelt in Los Angeles. The next stop on the ghost tour is Hanny's, a former department store built in the 1940s, now a restaurant. And I was not prepared for what was waiting for me in the basement. I call this the Last Supper of Nope. These dolls were not remnants of Hanny's department store, which sold menswear and not children's toys. No one knows where the dolls came from, and employees and guests say the number of dolls in this display fluctuates over time, from a dozen to 14. Now, if you're into this sort of thing, be sure to check out my video on the top 3 haunted dolls, and I'll post a link for the video in the description below. Our last stop on the Phoenix Ghost Tour is the Orpheum Theater. Opened on January 5th, 1929. Several ghosts are said to haunt the theater, including Harry Nace, one of the original owners of the theater whose death was most likely a homicide, a young girl known to harass patrons for not respecting productions, a resident cat that lived in the theater in the 1920s who still wanders the halls, giving a new meaning to the word catwalk, and a woman in the theater's balcony that the staff refers to as Maddie. Maddie has been seen by many guests, taking the form of a woman wearing mid-20th century garb. She was even photographed. You can see her right here. But despite the sheer number of ghosts at the Orpheum Theater, my tour guide Lucas has a feeling that they're all benevolent and attributes the gargoyles on the theater's facade to scaring away any negative entities who try to enter. Whoa, have I overstepped my bounds? Just let me know. So there you have it, a brief tour of Haunted Phoenix. If you find yourself here, why don't you check out Phoenix Ghosts? I'll post a link to the tour company in the description below. A big thank you to my tour guide, Lucas. And if you're new to the channel, why don't you consider hitting that like and subscribe button? You've been watching the channel for the recently deceased. I'm the host with the most, and until next time, never trust the living. Bye.